We worked a little bit with unit conversions or finding unit rates already, but we're going to go ahead and apply that concept when we're using different units for the same type of measurement. So if we're talking about distance or length and we want to convert between feet and yards, if we're talking about weight and we want to convert between pounds and tons, time, we're talking about time measurement and we want to convert between hours and days. So how do we do that? So again, we're thinking about unit rates, but instead of having two different completely things with speed and time, we're taking two different unit measurements of the same type of measurement. So we're measuring distance for both of them, or time, or speed, or whatever, but we're using two different types of measurement in that same category. So it's super simple, and I have a couple examples up here, and then we're going to talk about metric. So we're going to focus on US measurements, the measurements that we're used to using here in the US. And then in the next video, we'll talk a little bit about metric conversions. So even though that might not be completely practical for where we live, if you travel, or if you use tools, or you own things from other countries, it's good to know at least one rule of thumb for converting between imperial or US and the metric system. So here we have 6 feet equals how many inches? So again, we're measuring distance, but we're going to take feet and turn it into inches. So it's still, they're both measuring the same thing, just in a different way. Well, we know that 1 foot equals 12 inches, so we're going to take this inch, the amount of inches in 1 foot, and multiply it by how many feet we're going or measuring. So 6 times 12 equals 72 inches. So 6 feet would be equal to 72 inches. So I'm not going to do this for all of these, but so really all we had to do is multiply the bigger one by how many of the smaller one is in one of those bigger units. So in this case, there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So we multiply that 12 by how many feet we're actually measuring. So in the next one, we're also measuring distance, but this time we're going to go between miles and feet. So the thing that we want to remember is how many feet are in 1 mile. So this is our unit rate. And now we want to make a conversion between units. So 1 mile equals 5,280 feet, and we're traveling or walking 1.5 miles. So 1.5 miles. So what are we going to do? We're going to take this 1.5 and multiply it by 5,280. And when we multiply those two, it's going to give us how many feet total that we walked. And our last example is weight. We have 8 pounds. How many ounces is 8 pounds? Well, we have to remember the unit rate. The unit rate is 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So we're going to take this 16 ounces and multiply it by the 8, and that's going to give us the total number of ounces that bag weighs, or maybe the baby weighed, or whatever. So again, you're just taking the smaller unit. So the smaller unit is the ounces or the feet or the inches, and how many of those are in one of the bigger unit measurement, and you take that smaller one and multiply it by the total of the bigger one, and that'll help you kind of go back and forth. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. If not, we'll have plenty of time to go over it in class, but this hopefully will get you started in understanding. Most of you have probably already been doing this and know how to do this already, but if this is something that you have a little bit of a hard time with conceptualizing and knowing how to work through it, just please reach out to me and we can spend some more time on it one-on-one too.